Sonic Speed Reviews. Hello everybody, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related, so if that sounds like something your speed, consider checking out some other videos after this one and subscribing. Today we are starting our brand new series called Sonic Speed Reviews, in which I look at Sonic games and review them at a semi-quick pace. We are going to be doing CrossWorlds today, but I hope to do some others based off of the results and feedback from this video. I'm also going to be doing a more extensive breakdown of CrossWorlds with a more robust review later down the line, but I wanted to get this out as we are a few weeks into the game being released. So with that being said, let's get right into the review. I am rating this game based off of 5 different categories. Art design, which includes the UI, menus, graphics, and sound effects. The soundtrack, which is the actual music that plays in the game. Controls, how the game literally feels when playing it. Level design, which includes how the level is formatted along with the overall aesthetic and theming. Gameplay, which will include how fun it is, how difficult the game can be, and if there's replayability, and then all of that gets totaled together for an overall score. Each of these categories is out of 5, and I have my very own ranking system as well. With that being said, let's start with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds art design review. I really enjoy the overall look and art design for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. The renders look fantastic for the characters. Aside from the roster, I think the roster and the poses of the renders are not the best, but the overall look is great. They took the Sonic Frontiers and made it a little bit more saturated, along with having more of a fluid cartoon aesthetic to it, which I really enjoy. The menus look great, although I'm not a big fan of the theme always playing in the background. The menus are, for the most part, easy to navigate. There are a few hiccups here and there, such as when you go online, you have to wait till you finish a race to go back to the main menu. And also, because I'm playing on PlayStation 5, when you use controller settings, it kind of just shows a button based off of the direction. So instead of saying X, it's just like, it shows the bottom button and the left button, and it's just a little bit jarring at first to get used to. As far as graphics, this is one of the most beautiful Sonic games that I think we've ever gotten. These tracks, which we'll get to later, look absolutely fantastic, and the overall look for the game just seems great. Sound effects, I love them. I love the sound effects of when you're attacking. I love it when you're going through the menu and navigating through all the different items, and it's just a very solid art direction. So I'm going to give the art design for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds a 4 out of 5, a near perfect score. It's just some of the clunkiness of the menuing that knocks it down a few points, and also that roster, just the posing of the renders just doesn't look the greatest. It's kind of basic. Moving on to the soundtrack, I have done some reviews on the remixes of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and I gotta say, this is probably the weakest category, which is hard to say for a Sonic game. Most Sonic games knock it out of the park when it comes to music and soundtracks, but there's just a lot of hit or miss songs and selections here on the game. So soundtrack is actually going to be a 3 out of 5. Now, this is from a Sonic standpoint, because the Sonic soundtracks are usually so fire in the Sonic franchise. A 3 is more like a 4 when it's related to other games, but because we have to rate it based off of the Sonic scale, it is a 3 out of 5. There are just much better Sonic games out there with much more solid soundtracks. And I'm more so focusing on the original Sonic Racing soundtrack and the remixes, because you can't really rate it based off of the previous game soundtracks. Next we have controls. How does it literally feel to play these characters in this game? And I think controls are really important in racing games because you have to be able to feel the weight of the vehicles in which you are controlling, such as a car, a boat, or a plane in this instance. And this was one of my main concerns before playing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was this going to feel correct, or was it going to feel a little bit too floaty? And I'm happy to say that for the most part, the controls for this game feel fantastic. It really does feel like you are driving a car, riding a boat, and flying through the sky when you transform. When you're going fast, playing a handling type vehicle, or on an extreme gear, which is way more sensitive to turns and boosts, you get the overall feeling and difference from it, which I really enjoy. The only reason I'm giving controls a 4 out of 5 for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is because there are several times where, for some reason, my drifting just doesn't work. I don't know if this is necessarily a controller issue or the game issue. You guys can let me know if you're having the same issue, but sometimes I just go towards a wall and I can't actually turn my drift that well. It gets like stuck almost. So controls is a 4 out of 5. Next, we're going to move away from controls and go to the level design. I'm not even going to bury the lead. The level design for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is a 5 out of 5. The tracks are all absolutely great. I actually just recently did a video where I rank my low 5 and top 5 tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorld, and I had to emphasize at the beginning of that video that the low ranking stages are not because they're bad by any means. They're all really good. It's just there's so many good tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds that some had to fall towards the bottom of that list. So when you say that, you have to back it up, and I think this game backs it up to a T. Every stage just oozes with personality and theming, and the layouts go from basic, which isn't bad for a racing game, from basic to really cool and unique, such as Coral Town or Colorful Mall. So I have to give the level design, or in this case, the track design in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds a 5 out of 5. Moving away from level design, we have the gameplay. This is the most important part for these reviews, which is why I leave it for last. This is the make or break. I don't weigh these scores, but if I did, this would be the highest weight. Gameplay includes how fun the game is, how difficult it is, and if there's replayability. These are the most important things I personally think gameplay needs to have. As far as fun goes, yes, this game is really fun. I keep picking up the controller and not putting it down for hours on end, which is something to say because I have ADHD and I can't sit and play games for too long, and this really does capture my attention. Even when I'm not recording content, I am usually playing a few matches of Sonic Racing. So when it comes to fun, this game has it. Difficulty. This game actually has a wide range of difficulty depending on the speed you choose and the rival levels. I am pretty impressed with this. It's not super easy, but it's also not impossibly hard. It's right there in the middle, and I have lost quite a few races to rivals with higher levels, and I have been challenged to my wit's end in the race park. Trying to do race park on higher difficulties without anybody else, which is why it says it's recommended for multiplayer, yeah, it's a beast to try to get that completed. And once again, I will be doing a more robust and elaborate review of this game later down the line, in which race park and the modes will be broken down to in parts. So look forward to that. Replayability. Can you replay this game? Absolutely. You can replay this game over and over and over again. It is so fun to just go in and either do online or do your own Grand Prix, or go to the race park, grab some friends, do some split screen. There's so much there for you, and yeah, you can easily sink in hours. Not to mention the main mechanic of the game, the travel rings, which switch up that second lap. That really allows for different combinations for each time you go into a race. It's so good, guys. Like, I can't emphasize enough how much this game has just knocked it out of the park on so many levels. And with that being said, I'm going to give the gameplay a 5 out of 5. So to recap, we have 5 categories, and the ranking for each, or the rating, the score I have for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds for each is a 4 out of 5 for art design, a 3 out of 5 for the soundtrack, a 5 out of 5 for the level design, a 4 out of 5 for the controls, a 5 out of 5 for the gameplay, giving us an overall score of 21 out of 25, known as an 84%. I'm giving Sonic Racing CrossWorlds an A. Guys, this has been such a delightful breath of fresh air for a spin-off Sonic game that's also a racing title. We are long overdue for something like this, and they finally really delivered. Sega and Sonic Team went all out, and you can see that not just with my reviews, but the more established publishers, IGN, GameSpot. I say established, I don't really respect a lot of these publishers, but they are obviously kind of the ones driving the reviews for video games, and it's been reviewing higher than Mario Kart World, which is insane. No one would have thought that a Sonic racing game could beat out the king of mascot racers, and it basically has, and it shows. If the soundtrack for this game was just a little bit better, if some of those remixes were a little bit polished up and the main theme wasn't as annoying, in my opinion, I think this could have been a solid S-ranked game. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my scores and my ranking system? Let me know down below. What would you rate Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? I would love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I will have a more robust review for this game a little bit later. And let me know what Sonic game you want me to do next for this Sonic Speed review. I haven't played all the Sonic games, but I do have quite a few in my library, so I will be looking at the comments to see which one to do next if you liked it. If you didn't like this review, please give your feedback as well. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya!